What's up, everyone? My name is Rodney. Welcome to Shedskin Ideas, where I discuss game ideas. Hopefully, it inspires innovation, different ways of looking at how games could be played. And yeah, that's really just what I do. So, this game idea that I have is called Conquer. Conquer to be king. The objective is to one day be the king of the royal kingdom. And you start off as a commoner, just a regular citizen, and you do certain jobs in the kingdom that affect the prosperity of that kingdom. There are many kingdoms in which you can reside in, and each kingdom has special resources that they are better at than others. And one of the main features of the game, which I would actually think makes up the game itself, is that it's a voting game. All citizens have a vote. Eventually, you'll get to a point where your kingdom is dealing with severe losses of resources. And in order for your kingdom to not fall under the rule of someone who is stronger, you want to find a way to recover as soon as possible. And on that journey of recovery, it could be to work more, to trade, to ask for loans from the royal bank. But everyone gets to decide what methods that they believe the kingdom should take. And eventually, when you start ranking up and you start getting some status, your vote will be worth more. And what that does is it creates a kingdom that's a reflection of the choices that the citizens created. And you never know what other players are doing in other kingdoms and which kingdom as a collective do better. Eventually, a single region will have a single power. And when there are alliances, then you get to expand and come into conflict with other kingdoms in a new region. I left off on foundational school, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. We'll be going over more than just foundational school. This is an outline that I put in a PowerPoint, and I'll do my best to expand on each PowerPoint. So let's get into it. Conquer to be king. The foundational school. Foundational school prepares the player for the academy. It teaches basic education, discipline, social awareness, early combat understanding, and basic magical knowledge. It is the bridge between childhood and the academy. The transition to the academy. After early life, foundational learning, the player enters the academy. This should feel like a new chapter, not just another menu. The academy is where the um, characters begin becoming truly capable. What the academy is. The academy is the major development period. It improves combat, magic, profession knowledge, social ability, discipline, and independence. It should feel like school, growth, and story combined. The academy structure. One is the introduction, two is development, three, a dungeon incident, and year four, independence and preparation. the final exam, a final personal mission, results, and graduation. Academy classes. Classes develop stats, knowledge, magical control, combat ability, and job related strengths. Grades and average grades and averages contribute to ranking. The academy is one of the largest sources of stat growth. The intention of the game is to be able to create your own story with other online players, and to rank up needs to be fluid, and it needs to fit, so that way players continue to want to play and rank up, but also don't feel like they have to grind. So the intention of the game is to be longer than what a normal campaign or story mode would be, and the idea is, imagine it takes at least 2 years to complete, but at a reasonable pace. So the academy is one of the places where you'll get a good amount of stats, a good amount of status that will impact you after you graduate. Advanced professions. Academy introduces commerce, crafting, blacksmithing, and politics. Together with agriculture, mining, fishery, and hunting, this creates 8 major jobs. All jobs can be learned, but players specialize through effort. Combat education. Players learn knight and mage combat. Knights focus on frontline fighting, physical weapons, and defense. Mages focus on magic, range support, mana use, and positioning. Combat stats. Major stats include power, damage resistance, agility, and mana capacity. Academy magic and combat development includes healing, magic resistance, mana infusion, and casting speed. So even if you're a frontline fighter, you could infuse mana into your weapons or even armor. Is you are able to switch between a mage and knight class whenever you want. You have the freedom to do so. This isn't a permanent class selection. It's you just choose which one you want to use at a given time. And the kingdom may request for specific classes and participation in which you can join. This allows many activities instead of being subjected to a limited amount of features because of your class placement. This opens up the door to many experiences. Core magic versus technique. Core magical structure includes mana capacity, magic resistance, mana infusion, and elemental affinity. Learned techniques include casting speed, healing, spells, and advanced magical methods. Magic items increase potential, not learned technique. The elemental magic, base elements: fire, earth, wind, and water. Hidden/rare elements include wood, lightning, light, dark, and ice. Rare elements require discovery rather than simple selection. Academy beyond classes. Academies should not feel like only classes and tests. It needs story, small mysteries, missions, relationships, and moments that make students feel involved in the world. 5 personal missions. Each academy year can include one personal mission option. These are limited, meaningful mystery problem solving missions, not endless quest boards or tasks. The player chooses which mission path to experience. There are 4 years to the academy, and you have 5 mission options. Each mission has a special reward, and the mission that you do not select is just one item that you will not acquire, but many others may. Investigation gameplay. Academy missions use clue gathering. Players observe, question NPCs, visit location, collect information, compare evidence, and solve the situation. It should feel like mystery solving, not just combat. Some missions can require parties of 2, 3, 4, or 5. Players may receive a simple banner saying another student is seeking help for a mission. This encourages cooperation naturally. On the school missions, each one of these missions happen after you take your final exam of the year. So before you get your grades and before you graduate to the next year, you will have to finish one of these missions. Once you complete one of the missions, you get your results. And when you get your results, you get additional points to add to your character's stats. The third year dungeon incident. The year 3 dungeon incident is a major emotional turning point. It should happen early enough in the year that students return to school afterwards carrying the memory. Why the incident happens early. If the school year is imagined as 12 months, the incident could occur around the fourth or fifth month. That gives players time to process it, continue studying, and realize training matters. Life after the incident. After the incident, the players return to classes. Combat, magic, preparation, and survival now feel more serious. The academy becomes emotionally heavier because the players know danger is real. Returning to the dungeon. In the fourth year, the players eventually return to the dungeon with more responsibility. This creates tension because the players remember what happened during year 3. The dungeon now carries memory. Senior year. Senior year focus on independence, advanced training, exam preparation, and readiness for adult life. The players becoming someone capable of returning home stronger. Final examination. The players take the final exam. Results are not immediately given. This creates suspense before the final academy mission. Final personal mission. After the exam, the player completes one final mission. It is not literally required by the school to graduate, but structurally, it becomes the final academy experience before the results. Results in graduation. After the final mission, the players receive exam results, rankings, final academy standings, and graduation. The academy chapter ends. Adult life begins. Returning home. The player returns to their kingdom changed and now have education, combat ability, magical training, advanced profession knowledge, and dungeon experience. But they are not automatically noble. The guild system. After the academy, players join the guild. Guilds connect players to dungeon exploration, party formation, monster missions, job posting, and regional adventures. My goal and intention was that before you become a knight for the kingdom and you go through these um, systems, working as a young kid, and going to the foundational school, and then to the academy, and then you get out of the academy and you join a guild, and then after the guild, you end up becoming a knight. What I wanted to do with the tempo and pacing was that for a good story mode or a game with story mode, it has to have a decent amount of cutscenes. The cutscenes give a little bit more to the experience, but it shouldn't be the focus of the game itself. It is a game, not a movie. So, a lot of the setting and build up for this game is going to happen right before you become a knight. Eventually, you get to the guild and start heading towards becoming a knight. And that's when things become a little more personal, where leveling up becomes a little harder and certain events and situations give you status. Guild identity. Guilds give player community identity. Potential game names include Wyvern, Storm, Snowfall, Crystal Blades, Wolf Den, Phantom, Shadow, and Crow's Nest. A total of 32 guilds can exist outside of the Royal Kingdom. Regional dungeon structure. I will save this for the next video. I want to go back to the dungeon incident. The dungeon incident is actually a part of the class curriculum. Because of specific events that I will keep secret, I'll just say that it's part of the curriculum to go to the dungeon and learn about the dungeon. But this incident occurs because of something unique and special. And I also want to talk about the foundational school. In the foundational school, that's where you're going to start selecting your stats. If you're going to be more combat related than magic related, where you're going to put your stats, as in on agility or magic resistance, or sorry, not magic resistance, but magic capacity. And it will also be the time where you get to select your magic affinity. The dungeon structure is unique, and it's one of the main features that are going to level you up strength wise. One of the places that will challenge knowledge, things that you've learned in school, or either things that or knowledge that you've acquired through libraries. So, thank you for joining today. Tomorrow, we'll talk more about the structure of the dungeon and what to expect. Thank you very much and have a great day.